Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fossil Linux channel. Are you tired of paying licenses fees for Windows? Or perhaps you're fed up with pushing your data to the Microsoft cloud and relying on Bing and Copilot? Then Linux might be an interesting alternative for your desktop. Nowadays, Linux distributions are not just for geeks and nerds. They are also suitable for regular users. So the question is Linux the better choice for you? And what should you know before embarking on the adventure of switching from Windows to Linux? We'll cover all of this in today's video and we explore the question, is Linux better than Windows? It's a question with immense potential. Ready? Let's dive in. Before we get into it, a spoiler alert. Anyone who answers the question, is Linux better than Windows, with a straightforward yes or no is biased. The question of whether Linux is better than Windows cannot be answered definitely. Both operating systems have their strengths and weaknesses, making them more or less suitable for different users and applications. A universal answer would be insincere because ultimately the choice of operating system depends on individual needs and preferences. We'll provide an overview of who might find Linux or Windows to be the better choice. Let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of Linux. Before we continue, an important note. Here you'll find regular Fossil Linux content. If you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe to the channel for free, give the video a thumbs up for the algorithm, and with the bell activated, you'll among the first to be notified when there's new content. You see, it's worth it. Let's check the advantages. First, open source and cost. Linux is open source and generally available for free. This means anyone can view, modify and improve the source code. This transparency fosters trust. For both private users and businesses can it be a cost-efficient alternative to Windows, as there are no licenses fees. If you buy a computer, you pay the license with the price of the computer. Businesses have to contact Microsoft to pay for mass licenses. Second, customizability and flexibility. Linux offers high customizability. Users can configure the system according to their preferences and remove unnecessary components. Different distributions like Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Fedora or Arch Linux provide tailored solutions for various needs, preferences and also technical expertise. Third, security. Linux is considered a very secure operating system. The open source nature allows for quick identification and fixing of security vulnerabilities. Additionally, Linux structure is less susceptible for viruses and malware compared to Windows. Point 4. Resource efficiency. Linux can run efficiently on older or less powerful hardware, making it ideal for reuse older computers or operating in environments with limited resources. Since Linux is not driven by profit or sales, distributions like Ubuntu or Ubuntu focuses specifically on ensuring a good user experience even on older hardware. This is more sustainable than having to buy a new PC every 2 or 3 years. Let's check the disadvantages of Linux. First, software compatibility. Some proprietary software, especially in gaming and professional applications like Adobe Creative Suite, are not natively available for Linux. While there are alternatives and solutions like Wine or virtual machines, these are not always perfect. VMs in particular lack in performance and user-friendliness compared to native solutions. Second, user-friendliness. Although distributions like Ubuntu or Linux Mint prioritize user-friendliness, Linux can have a steeper learning curve for beginners compared to Windows. Setting up and configuring the system sometimes require more technical knowledge, especially with certain hardware. Hardware manufacturers often provide support exclusively for Windows and some also for Mac OS. Third, support and drivers. Support for specific hardware and the availability of drivers can be more limited on Linux. Users may encounter issues when trying to use certain peripherals that are not optimally supported. In case of problems, user must independently find and implement solutions. Let's have a look at the advantages of Windows. First, software and game compatibility. Windows has the advantage of being the primary platform for most commercial software applications and games. Users have access to a wide range of programs, some of which are not available on Linux. Gamers are well catered for on Windows, although Linux has made significant strides in this area. Second, user-friendliness. Windows is familiar to many users due to its widespread use and functional user interface. Most users can navigate it quickly and require less technical knowledge for daily use. Third, hardware compatibility. Hardware support is generally good on Windows. Most manufacturers provide drivers and support primarily for Windows devices, making the installation and the use of peripherals easier. This can be an advantage if manufacturers write good drivers and, of course, maintain them properly. Point 4. Enterprise environment. Windows is the standard in many businesses, particularly due to its integration with other Microsoft products and services like Office 365, Active Directory, SharePoint, and for some, Exchange. The availability of professional support and training makes it attractive for businesses. Those who use Windows at work are also likely to use it at home. Let's check the disadvantages of Windows. First, cost. Windows is a proprietary operating system and requires the purchase of a license. If you buy a PC, the license is calculated in the price. This can be very expensive, especially for businesses that need multiple licenses. The risk here is that if Microsoft increases the fees again, the companies will have no room for maneuvers and will have to pay more money accordingly. Second, security. Windows is more frequently targeted by viruses and malware, particularly due to its widespread use. Users typically need to install additional security software and perform regular updates, and then can hope that it works. Hello, CrowdStrike. Third, customizability. Windows offers fewer customization options compared to Linux. Users are often limited to the settings and interfaces provided by Microsoft, which can be restrictive for technical savvy users. Point 4. Cloud dependencies. Microsoft pushes users towards the cloud. User accounts are preferably set up as cloud or online accounts. Although Microsoft markets this as an advantage, with data being synchronized and available on all devices, it implies control over your data. Once data is in the Microsoft cloud, it is analyzed and scanned. Moving data away from the Microsoft cloud can be complex and cumbersome. In summary, Linux can be a revolutionary alternative to Windows for many users. While Windows excels in broad compatibility and user-friendliness, Linux shines with its flexibility, security, and the freedom it offers. The decision of whether Linux is better than Windows ultimately depends on individual needs and preferences. However, one thing is certain: those who take the leap and embrace the open source of Linux may discover a whole new dimension of computing. It's a journey full of possibilities and potential, and perhaps exactly what you're looking for. So is it time to say goodbye to Windows and start the adventure with Linux? The answer could be fundamentally change your digital future. I advise you to try out Linux in a virtual machine first. Install a free tool like VirtualBox on Windows. Try out distros like Linux Mint or Ubuntu and then see if you like it. If you need help along the way, you'll find on my YouTube channel a lot of videos. I'm not a general opponent of Windows or Microsoft, but there are a few things about Windows that bother me, such as local user accounts becoming cloud accounts. Most users move the data into the cloud in this way, perhaps unknowingly. What was once uploaded to the cloud was uploaded to the cloud on someone else's hard drive. What is in the cloud is analyzed and scanned by Microsoft all the times. After the planned end of Windows 10, you will have to switch to Windows 11 if your computer allows it. If the hardware is too old or does not fulfill the security guidelines, you cannot install Windows 11 and must stay on Windows 10 or buy a new computer. To get security updates for Windows 10, you can take out a subscription, but for a fee and only for 3 years. The prices for this have not yet been finalized. It all seems some kind of strange to me. First, users were forced to have cloud accounts, try to ensure that their data ends up in the in-house cloud, and then many customers are perhaps overwhelmed and simply buy a new Windows 11 PC. Good for Microsoft and good for the PC manufacturers, but also good for you, your data, and your personal wallet? Seems a bit like a ring to enslave them, bind them forever, etc. etc. The bottom line is that I wouldn't want to do it that way anymore. I want to make my own decisions and I'm happy to take responsibility for them. That's why I felt in good hands in the Linux environment for over 20 years and I've never regretted the move. But that only applies to me and would be a story for a separate video. Let me know in the comments what's on your mind, where you stand and where your journey should go or perhaps has gone. If you already have switched from Windows to Linux, please share your experiences. That helps others a lot. Thank you very much. In the end cut, I'll show you 2 more suitable videos. One deals with the Microsoft Service Contract and the use of AI tools and what this means to Windows users, and the other video is about whether it might be the better choice to switch from Windows to Linux right away. And by the way, YouTube channel members get early access to all my videos. Did you know? If that's something for you, I'd be delighted. Thank you for the kind attention, ladies and gentlemen. See you soon. Peace.